Do you have any questions before we start with the session?
No, already.
Okay. So I just got some time yesterday and created this few charts to show you. Like we were here, I guess. Let me just check. We were here, and I just created few charts like just with the contaminator and the total collected to be on the x-axis and the y-axis, and the each circle represents a person, and it's colored by the percentage of the contamination. So just this scale just gives you the idea that the more it is the person who have more contamination, the green ones are the okay to go. So just basically by the color scale of their values.
That's great.
So I just want to show you each of them, and maybe if you want, if you're interested on any of the particular chart, I can show you how to do that. But this was just some examples which I did. And here, bubble
I like
chart.
that a lot.
Okay, bubble chart. Yeah. So this is just sized by the total collected, and the coloring is by the percentage of the contaminated. So you could see SMS, which I'll just pulling this to the tooltip. So Sandra, though she collected a lot and her percentage of contaminated is more, and here Megan has a kind of like on the between, I would say average, on the average of the total collected, and her she's darker though. GFS Germa self, she's kind of in the danger zone, I'd say. So the next chart which I did is the heat table, which is very similar to this, but instead of on circles, we just had it on the squares.
Yeah.
And next would be the box plot. I just used for each day, each month. So it's gonna say, for example, if you could see here, the x-axis is their date and y-axis is their total collected. So you could see GFS, which should be, I'm just putting the name here, Germa shelf, who had collected about 12.5, sorry, 8. She has collected 8, and her percentage of contaminant is 12 percentage. She's actually the darker of this row, I'd say. Oh, sorry, the column. So you could just see how they have been, and you could see the total collected, like how maximum they have been for each month, and how their percentage of contaminated are.
And then any of the previous diagrams, scatter and bubble, can you
Hmm.
switch the month from one to the next month, or is it total, or?
It's by month. Like I
Oh
have
yeah.
just placed
Okay,
a
great.
filter here so that it will be safe for us. So we don't have data for July, so it's just showing 0, June, just got it. Or all months, you can just sum everything if you want to. And for scatter, yeah, I just have for, yeah, I do have for all the three. So can we move, try the next one?
Yes, please.
So this was just the pie chart. The size is based on the total collector, and the percentage is the coloring here. So you could see this should be Sandra, I guess. Yeah, Sandra has collected a huge percentage, like she has collected about 9.1 percentage of the total collected. Her percentage of contaminated is about 4, and here it is Ashley. So this is actually for, I guess it's for all the months. So I'm just making the show filter here so you can just make use of it. I'll just go with the slider so you can just try for all the months how they have performed, and this would be for all the months. The next chart would be, I just tried a very basic bar chart, and the line is basically the contaminated numbers. Let me just check if I'm right with that. Yes, here you go. So Ashley, so she has got more number of contaminated on May month. Like there are two measures here. The line is basically using this measure. You could see like if it is 2, she'll be higher, and whereas here if it's 30, that's the height of it. And it's actually basically they have been using this same scale. I can just help you how to change the scale if you don't want to see them. Like it's actually in absolute view. So if you just right click it and edit axis, you just get a bar here. So it says the range. I'm going to make it independent axis range for each row or column. So if you just give it and click OK, you could see each of the bars are independent of each other. So you could see here it's 0 to 8, here 0 to 10, 0 to 15. So it's based on your needs to know what kind of view do you want. Can you see it, Steve, or is it lagging?
I can see it, but what was your question?
Mm-hmm. No, my question is like I just wanted to show you what this thing is like, independent, and did you get about it? So that was my question. Is it lagging like yesterday, or is it fine today?
Oh, it's better. It seems better.
Okay, that's great. So are you on your Ethernet?
Yes, Ethernet.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, then moving on to the next chart, which is just the area. So I just kept each person's on the x-axis, and on the y-axis have the total collected, and you could see the coloring is basically by their dates. So the green is July 16, blue May 16. So it's just gonna say we have a hike for Mr. JT should be. So Jody Truman, okay, JT, okay. He has got the highest. So I've used the dual chart so that you will just get a, whether you could see here outline with the number 13776. So it's gonna say the total collected for this particular persons. If you hover over each of them, you will get for their each months. But when you just keep it near the label, you could see for the whole months, all the, say like all the 1, 2, 3, 6 months. Yeah.
Is there a particular reason, Rajiv, that not all the months are included? Like on the right, it only goes from February until July, and I think we had 12 months worth of data. Do you know why?
No, we had only this for the from February to July for the this thing you could see February to July, and plotted was also the same, I guess. Yes, we just got the 6 months. Only for
Oh,
the
okay.
only for this particular sheet, I guess we had multiple months, but not for these two. So here we
Oh,
got
no, you're right. You're right.
yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah. So which chart would you like? So and what did you prefer? Just I just made some, maybe take 10 or 15 minutes together, but I like to get your ideas and which do you like and which would your end users like.
Um, I think still the one we started yesterday, maybe. What was that? The bullet chart or?
Mm-hmm. Yes, bullet chat. Mm-hmm. Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I mean the information that our supervisor
Sorry, what was that? I just missed your last. but it was not clear.
Is going to use information and then into threshold, and then what I would like to see is some type of ranking where we can assess the best performer, overall performer, and then which individuals are not meeting the quality thresholds. And so from the views that seems to do that the best, um, but maybe I'm not interpreting it the right way. Um, what is your thought based on all the views we have, all the different charts? Because
This
I'm more used to this view than the others, which might be part of the reason I like it better.
I get it. I get it. I personally like the bubble chart and the heat table because, like, as far as my end users are concerned, they like these particular charts, and there are few people who are crazy about the bubble chart because it's kind of visually attractive and also give you the ideas of it, like the size, the coloring. So that's a great way. It's a great visualization, I would say. And the heat table is for those people who would feel like then people who do not really like bubbles, they would prefer the heat tables to be there. So I mean, this actually
What I
called tree tables. Pardon, this should be tree maps. So people like either the tree maps or the bubbles very much.
oh, okay.
And the area chart is kind of attractive, but I feel my personal views, like these three chart are my favorite, so I just add it in the starting. And we could have in multiple ways, like in quartiles we could have with the colorings. For example, if you'd say we can have like
I like the coloring. I like the gradation from light green to, or from dark green to dark red,
mhm,
where it shows you how far in or out of compliance we are, or the individual is.
mhm, mhm. So this particular coloring is not based on our threshold, it's just by the number of people who are here. So you could see here the one, I guess he's the darkest, he and he, so because they are on the, they have no contaminator numbers, and whereas here these three guys and he is in lighter green, so which says that they have some compliance of, like, I mean, yeah, they have some compliance. Mm, so
Is
this
there a way to
mm,
build a view like that has contaminated and clotted,
uh, sorry, what was it? Contaminated and the clotted?
where where the other it would show
Mm, I'm
clotted
just give me a second, Steve. I'm just
and
breaking. It's your voice is not. It's breaking. I'm just wondering if something with my
then
internet.
and maybe a third option where where it does overall my side.
Steve, can you hear me now? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's clear. So I'm not sure if it's mine or yours, but anyways, never mind it. So I I couldn't hear what you said before. Like you said, like you wanted something with the clotted specimens. Like, can you just repeat it?
Oh, sure. So right now the scatter only shows contaminated. Can
Yes.
we add another, what would you call that on the right side? Another,
This one,
um,
the pill, or
not really a pill, but another dimension? Like, like you have the slider for month. Could we do like a selector contaminated versus clotted versus overall?
yeah, sure. So if in that case we just go with it with the uh, another parameter which can just help us to switch between the measures. So I'd like to go for create a parameter which should be a string, and just one selective. I'll just name it as selector measure. So we'll just have it here, the percentage, so I mean the number of contaminated, and next would be the clotted specimens. Okay, let's just have this two for now. So I'm just replacing this with here, and right click and show parameter control, which will help you to make something like this drop down, so you can just switch over the view. Can you see it?
Oh, great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the coloring is basically on the percentage of contaminated, so I would like to replace it with, say, edit the existing one and percentage of selected measure. I'm just gonna replace
Or
it by
percent of
the
selected measure.
so I'm just making it by the total.
Yeah, that's great.
So we could just see, so if you have selected the contaminated, the coloring is also by the contaminated, and if you change the clotted specimens, the coloring is basically by the clotted specimens.
And how did you change it to percent of selected measure?
So I just had it before, this was percentage of contaminated, so I just renamed to percentage of selected measure, and I've just
Okay.
wrote the formula which we had it yesterday. Yeah.
And then could you do a third one, a third measure, like overall, where it's the total percentage of clotted plus contaminated?
Yeah, sure. I'll just make it overall for selected measure. Else if select a measure equal to overall, I'm just gonna add these. Yes, here we go.
And then could you change the, let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay, so right now the y-axis is total collected and the x-axis is the
Overall.
the measure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. It looks great.
Yeah. So few things which I like to add up is, when you have access, like you really cannot have these are parameter, so you cannot have the parameter value to be on the title, so we just make it blank. So I'll just give a space here and give OK. on the dashboard view, I'm just gonna make a text which just gives you the name of it. So I'll just show you.
Oh, Rajiv,
Mm-hmm.
how would you swap? What's the easiest way to swap the x and the y axis on this chart?
View. Mm-hmm. So you could make use of this particular icon here, which you could see, swap.
Okay,
So just clicking on it will make you the vice versa.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I like that view better because the upper right of the quadrant
Mm-hmm.
is so the more to the right, the better performer, right? Or
More to the right, this view, the previous view, I just uh, turned it back. So more to the right, they have more percentage of like what do you call it? The more percentage of contamination. So whereas to the
could we
left,
do
mm-hmm,
could we do four quadrants? Is there a way to do that? You know, like you have
mm-hmm,
some
yes,
management tools show you like the four quadrants. Upper right are high performer, high volume, high quality,
mm-hmm.
and then the lower left quadrant is low volume, low quality. Is there a way to differentiate and make it like that?
Yeah, sure. So you just have to right click on the axis. So right click and add reference line. So it's called the reference line here. So for the entire table, I want average line to be shown and let it be none. And here I just want it on the maybe say orange for this view because we have red and green here. So let's see how it looks. And this is the average based on the value because you could see there are more people here. And I'm just going to do the same here. I'll right click, add reference line. So for the total collected average value, none. And I'm just going to make it orange line. So I'll just let you know what this particular checkbox, I'm checking it. So these are the quadrant based on the value which we have on a view.
Great. And then can you swap the axis again? See how
Sure,
that looks?
sure.
So let's see. So the x-axis is volume and the y-axis is quality,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And so I guess to get the view the way we want, the y-axis would need to be flipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that way the low quality would end on the bottom. So the higher the overall contamination, the lower the quality. So that would have to be inverted.
So do you want me to swap it again?
No, just somehow invert the
Mm-hmm. Oh,
y-axis
I
where
get.
the 4 becomes the, okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I get it. So you have to just right click and click edit axis. Just click the reversed here, which you could see scale reversed. So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
check
Oh,
it and give OK. So this is how the chart looks.
this is great.
Mm-hmm.
You see, bottom left is worse, upper right is best.
Yes, yes.
So upper right basically is high volume, low contamination.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So high volume, high sample integrity. Bottom left is low volume, low sample integrity. This is great.
Mm-hmm. So we could play around with this, like uh, say I want the access name to be here. So when we give for the end user, we'll make sure that there's an access name. So as we have it as a parameterized, so we cannot have the name. So just going to show you how to
Yeah,
make the
call it
names.
the
Mm-hmm.
quality. So the y-axis is the quality axis and the axis is the volume axis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just rename it. So this,
And do
mhm.
you think should we do anything with the axis to make it more visual, or I don't know, what are your thoughts?
I would like to remove this zero lines. If you could see here, the line which is just going here just confuses the
Yeah.
people. So I'm just gonna go to right click, format. So it's just gonna give us a format menu bar as our pane here. So I'm just clicking on the lines which you can see the fifth icon. So on the zero lines, I'm just gonna make it none. So it's just takes off it. And if you really do not want to see the grid lines at the background, so you could just click here. Just give me a second. So I'm just gonna make it none and here none. So it's kind of a very based on the users. Few users would like to see with the uh, grid line, so it would be help them to identify, and few would not really require it. So these are the variations of every.
And
Mm-hmm.
can we change the quadrants line, the quadrant lines by measure? So if
So
you change the measure from overall to plotted,
mm-hmm.
could you could you change that quadrant line, the horizontal one,
Mm-hmm.
to show the 0.5% mark?
Are you expecting the value to be shown?
No, no, but to change the line from the average to the threshold, and the threshold is 0.5%.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it. Yes. So to make that, we could just write a calculator field which allows you to switch between the threshold. Or shall we remove the this particular line and make it threshold? Would that be fine?
I don't know. Could we keep it maybe as a dotted line and label it average, and then add a second one that's solid and label it threshold?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So this threshold, I'm just gonna.
Or
Uh,
actually, could we add it as another measure where we can select? Well, no, actually, this is fine. Just
yeah, yeah, we can try that.
or what?
So we can try this, and if you are not, if you like to try some other way, we can always do that. So I'm just gonna drag this thing and put it on our detail. So let me just make the parameter to be seen here, and I'm just gonna right click, add reference line, and for the threshold parameter, I'm just gonna make it a red, maybe a little thicker line. Give OK, and you could just make it a type in. I'll just parameter. I'll just make it a float so that I can give a. I'll just remove everything so I can give any particular value from 0 to
And it's
100.
0.5 for
Yes.
plotted.
Yes. So here we go. So we just got the threshold, which is 0.5, and if you want to see the value here, I can just make it value. So you could just see 0.5, and
Yeah, that's great.
to make it a little more, instead of showing everything, I just want it to be short like 0.5, not the extra zeros. So I just right click,
Yeah,
format. So I just got up with this particular pane. I'm just going clicking on the numbers, number customs, and I just want to see just a single digit,
yeah.
and click close. Yes, here we go.
And then can you label the dotted line average?
Sure. So I can just, I'm just right click on the average line, edit. So the label I can just give the computation. So I'll just get the average name, or if you wanted something to be simple, let's say custom AVG, just an AVG. So I can just have it here, AVG.
Yeah.
So
And then could you make it the same color as the AVG, the same color as the dotted line?
Sure.
How
So
do you do? Okay.
yeah, sorry. I'll just go to right click, format, and on the font, I'll just click the orange color here.
Oh, great. And then could you make the 0.5, the threshold, could you make that line red and then the 0.5 red as well?
Sure. So I'm just gonna right click, format. I just got up with this thing. I'm going with the red. The font color also to be red. So here we go. Yes, Steve, you're about to say
And
something.
then will the default be, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Hello? Okay, great. Um, so will the threshold be the 0.5 always for this view, or do you have to manually enter it?
You have to enter it. So if you are just changing for overall, so or we'll just try for contaminator. So in this case, if you just wanted to have something else for the contaminator, so we can just say I just want to be the 1. You can just change it. So it's gonna be 0.5 until you change it manually.
Can you preset it so that it's always 2 for contaminated and
Mm-hmm.
always 0.5 for clotted?
Mm-hmm. And for overall, any expectation?
Overall would be, well, it's difficult. I guess that one that combined would be 2.5%.
Mm-hmm. And let me just go with that. Mhm. So we actually have the numbers here, so I have to make it edit it so that it will give us a percentage. So even when you have, as you are expecting, if you are expecting 0.5, you are saying it should be 0.5 percentage. Am I right?
For clotted, it's 0.5, yeah.
It should be on percentage, right?
And then,
Mm-hmm. And for the
yeah,
contaminated
percentage.
percentage. Okay, I get it. Yeah, just give me a minute. So this percentage of selected measure. So if I'm right, then it should be the one which should be on the x-axis. Just remove this and make this continuous. Just check it. Hmm. Sorry. I'm just making it. I should have replaced here. Making it by the continuous. Hiding it. Right click and duplicate. I'm just gonna say edit. If select a measure equal to overall, then it should be 2.5, else if select a measure equal to contaminated, then it should be 2, right?
If it's contaminated, 2.
2, okay. It was not continuous and hence we were not able to see it before. And I'll just write here, it should be minimum value. So here we go. So what I did is like I just written a calculator field which just checks our parameter, and if it is overall it's gonna assign 2.5, and if it's contaminated it's gonna make it 2, and else it's gonna be 0.5, which is obviously, as we know, it's gonna be the clotted specimens. So the reason why I'm using min here is because I don't want the Tableau to submit or take an average of it. So giving it min will make the values to be exactly the same what we enter here, and I've just uh, dragged it to the detail and made it into a continuous measure and added the reference line. So do you have
Okay,
any,
great.
yeah, is it clear or do you have any doubts on it?
Yeah, can you flip the y-axis again?
Yeah, sure. Just make it quality percentage. I'll just make this a red one. Take a red one and add up our average
And
line.
then instead of the label being the number, could we just label it threshold?
Yeah, sure. So you
How would
can
you
just
do that?
so
Custom.
go to custom and you can just type it, threshold. So here we go.
And then can you add the average
Mm-hmm.
dotted line?
Sure, sure.
Add reference line?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Just name it.
None. Custom. Average.
So it should be.
And then maybe make it the orange like before.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So here we go.
How did you change the text color again on threshold and average
So you
to
have to
match the
just
line?
right click
Right
for
click,
format,
format? Okay.
and on the font you're just gonna change the color.
Okay.
So same way for this, click on this, we'll just make it here and make it format. So I'm just gonna close this.
And then
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Will it automatically? And can you change the vertical axis to be dotted as well? No, the vertical quadrant line, the orange line.
Sure, sure.
So
Go to the
okay,
line and to the
formatting
yeah.
that dotted, and
And
then can you make it say average as well?
sure. To the label, custom, I'll just make
Custom.
average. Click OK
What
and
did you select? You right clicked and you selected label or
edit,
edit? Okay,
edit on the label. I'm just gonna select the custom average.
okay.
So regarding the color, I just gonna right click, format. On the font color, I'm
Yeah.
just going with the orange color.
And then will it automatically do this setup for all measures, or do you have to net for clotted and for total to make it the view the same? To have the red threshold line and the layout the same?
You have to change the measure. So it's based on this particular parameter, the threshold and the our exact y-axis is being shown.
Okay.
So when you have contaminator, or maybe say this is for the plotter 0.5, so we just have it here. We could have for overall, so it's going to be 2.5. Anything else, Steve, on
Just
this?
a second, Rajiv. I'll be back in a
Yeah, sure.
Oh, great. Rajiv, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Steve.
Oh, great. Sorry, my boss was calling, and then after the call, I couldn't click unmute, like it was trying to make reestablish the connection, so I
Mhm.
had to log out and log back in. Sorry
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, no problem. So,
This visualization is great. It looks
mhm.
excellent.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. So, would you like to try any other charts from the list?
So so how would you what would be the best way to copy and paste the layout to the other measures to from overall to clotted and to contaminated? Would you copy and paste or you have to repeat the whole process again?
You can just right click it and duplicate sheet. So you will
Oh,
get
but
what it
so
is. So you just have to replace the message which you wanted to change. Hmm.
um,
Yes.
but if you click from select measure from overall to contaminated maybe or to clotted, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. So now the layout is already copied. That's great.
So, or if that was your question, we had it on our measure, the measure which we have, the percentage of selected measure which is dynamic. It's based on our measure which we have. So that's the reason even the lines, the our
And all the
what it
colors, everything
says.
copies. Okay.
Yes, it is. So we are still on the same chart, but the values have been changed dynamically.
Oh, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you have the slider on the top to select the month.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to, and I think it's great, but if what is the easiest and best way to add a function to see all the months combined? So where you can still do each individual month, but also all of them combined to see total performance.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the easiest way would be like on a dashboard, like to say here the scatter plot is here, and I will just name it as scatter 1 and scatter 2. So just correct me if I got your question right. Your question is like you like to see the all the months together and also the particular
Oh,
months.
date all. Is that
Date.
all combined?
Yes, all combined.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's exactly my question.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. The other way, like the way I understood it was actually different. I thought like you wanted to see both the monthly view and the total view on the same view. Like that's what I was expecting. But if it in that case, I'll just ask you to duplicate the sheets and place it in a dashboard which you where you can get it like this, something like this. So you could see you can even compare months if you would like to, or you can just compare
Oh,
all the
great.
months. So this would be, if I'm right, just let me check which is which. So this would be my view one. I can just add up the in insert. We just make the date to be here. Okay. So it says view one all months have been selected. And view two, and again making the date here. So I can just compare months. So you could see here like all the
How
months
did
every
you do
February.
that? So, so when you,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, just walk me through the steps again.
Yeah,
How to add a dashboard and how to make it like this. This is great.
yeah, sure. So what it is just can you see the like a borderline plus, so clicking this will make you a new dashboard. uh,
Yeah.
I had scatter one, I just copied it to scatter blue, so both are the exact same dashboard. I have not made any changes, and
Okay.
I just drag going to the dashboard 3 and going to scatter plot 1. I'm just drag and dropping it here. These are the sheets which we have created till now, and here's scatter 2, which is the copy of it. I just drag drop side by side. So we just got the view 1 and view 2. I'm just making this to be named as,
And can they be the same scatter or do they have to be different scatters that I can drag and drop? Do I need two sheets or can you do it with one sheet and cop and then drag it twice onto the dashboard?
you need sheets, two sheets, like what it is scatter and right click duplicate sheet. So I just got with another one. So if you're gonna show the same sheet twice, you should always have a copy. You cannot have a same sheet to be repeated. So you can have only one sheet in a dashboard. That's how it
Oh,
works.
okay.
Yeah. And other thing is like if you just right click on the dashboard and make hide all sheets, you will see the scatter plot is not here. It's gonna be invisible. So to your end user, you really need not show the underlying worksheets. You can just give them this dashboard. That's enough for them to interact with the dashboard. Get my point?
Yes, it's great.
So you can even
And
have.
then
Mhm.
is there a way, like the second view right now, the average and threshold labels overlap. Is there a way to, whenever that happens, to make one flip so they don't overlap? Is there a setting for that or there's no way to avoid it?
That's not really a way to avoid it, but a quick solution for this would be maybe changing the alignment of the words. So I can just go with the alignment and make it to be seen below the line. So the way
How
it
did you
is.
do that?
So I just clicked on it, right click, format, on the alignment of the
Oh,
label. I just made it to be
mm-hmm.
bottom align. On vertically it should be bottom align,
Oh,
or
great.
to be make sure even though the average comes below the threshold, there are little chances that they could collide. I would suggest I will change the horizontal element to be right, so I'm very sure that they would not
Mm,
collide for any reasons, even if they come over or below or up above.
yeah,
So this way they would not collide.
great.
Yeah. So the size of the dashboard, if you could see, we have to scroll and view it. So I would suggest, like, if you have any specific size of for a dashboard, you can always give it on the fix and change it. Or if you want it to be an automatic size, you can just click automatic. So it will just fit your screen. So we don't see any scroll bar. It just be a single screen where you can see the top to the bottom. So it would be a option where you can go with automatic. There are some cases where you would go fixed size. I'll just maybe tell you later when we can go with that. Okay, Steve,
Yep.
and we can just make some changes to it. If you just double click on the legend here, you could see the edit legend title. I can just make it color legend, just any name you like to see, and give OK. So you could just rename the title. You can rename titles of anything just by double click on the titles. So I'm going to double click on the date. So
Oh,
this,
can you change it from color legend to sample integrity?
sure. And to the date, I'm just going to make it view and date. This going to be view to date.
And then the threshold section, if you change it, can you still type as something different and it would move the line?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. I like that.
Is it moving? I'm just wondering if it's moving. No, sorry. We just had the threshold to be based on the. I think you remember we just wrote a calculate field which shows the fixed line. So that's why it's not really changing. If you want it to be manual, we just have to add another parameter which will make the automatic to be manual. So can we try that now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I'm just going to create a, say, create parameter, threshold line. So let it be threshold line. I'm just going to removing, clicking on the X here, which you see just removes the our values on this, or you can click on clear all, so it will just remove all the values. I'm just going to make it fixed, and this could be manual. This whole line. Steve, are you there?
Yep.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Like I just lost my internet connection. There was a heavy thunderstorm here, so just a loss of connection. Sorry for that.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah, thank you. So what we were doing is like I just created a parameter to say between whether it's fixed or manual. So I just gonna edit my reference line here, edit, and I'm just gonna go and write if my threshold line equal to fixed, then sorry, then let it go here, else let the threshold value be used here. And so I'll just check the calculation is valid and give OK. So going back to the dashboard, if you just see the small triangle here, when I click it, you just get a small menu on the parameters. I'm just going to make the threshold line so that I'll get the parameter visible on the dashboard. Fixed. If you just go to manual, and I can just make it 5% if you really want to, or maybe say 2%. You can make it manually. You can edit it.
Oh, okay.
So you can always change it to fixed if you want to. Or I can show you an example. Yeah. So making it manual may take you to the 2%. It's here. Yeah. So it's just you can always drag and drop and make the position which you wanted to, which you like to have. Like you would like to have like this, and this to be at the bottom. Hmm. I can name this as a scatter comparison. Yep. So do you have any specific idea to try on, or shall we try something new?
Yeah, please, let's try something new. But this was great. I think it's a, a very useful view, and it's really helpful.
Yeah, sure. So we can do some changes on it. So for example, when you could see the tooltip is not really it's showing some unwanted things, for example saying the percentage reference line or the percentage of the selected measure. I want it to be like to say clean. I want the threshold to be more
Yeah.
useful and clean, and just clicking the small icon which you could see here, go to sheet. If you click it here, it takes me to the underlying worksheet. So it takes me back to the sheet, and I'm just going to click on the tooltip. It just gives us the structure how the my tooltip will be displayed. I can always click the preview to see the values, the exact values, and I'm just gonna remove the percentage of reference line, and bottom is name related to that total sum. I'm happy with it, and I just want to remove the, instead of showing a percentage of selected measure, I wanted the selected measure to be replaced with the name which is selected here. So
Okay.
I've just selected the selected measure, insert, parameters dot select a measure. This is the value which will be shown here. So I'm just going to click it here. So it will show when I click the preview. It says percentage of overall. When I change it, I will always get like that. So this is how my tooltip would be, and then
Yeah,
it
that's
is
great.
this is
And
just
what
a
would be the next one? Sorry.
mm-hmm.
How did you
Sorry,
display it? Like, how did you get that?
preview button,
How did you? Oh, preview. Okay.
preview. Yeah. So I'm just gonna remove this. It's a copy of it. And threshold, I'm happy to show the threshold is fine. Okay, so when you hover over it,
Can you
it
show preview again? Oh, okay.
yeah, we could see it here. It or if you
And
want,
so
mhm.
phlebotomist, instead of the three letters, can we get it to say the whole name?
Yeah,
Because we
sure.
have the whole name in the
Yes,
tooltip.
yes. So we just have to drag drop it and put it on the tooltip. As we have edited the tooltip, it's gonna, it will not, even though if we add any new dimension or message to the tooltip, it will not be reflected. So what we should do is we have to add the name of the phlebotomist, like say it's here. We can just add it, or we can just replace it with the phlebotomist which is shown here. So,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
sorry, I think I just clicked on something. I'll just insert to the list the phlebotomist name. Clicking it, I'm just gonna remove the space. I click OK, so you could see the name. And even on the labels, if you really do not want to see the labels here, you can always remove, like see phlebotomist. If you remove it, those names will be not visible, or if you're really interested to see it, you can just add it here. So the name will be shown, and you can order it. It's basically the order is based on here. So it says the percentage is first and the name is second. I can just drag and drop switch it, drag and drop the portion of it, so you could see the phlebotomist name first and the percentage in the second.
Oh, great. And then
Mhm.
how about removing the percentages from the labels where it just says the three-letter acronym of the name, and then when you hover over it, you see the percentage as part of the tooltip?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to, from the labels, I'm just gonna remove it. If it's drag it out, it's just gonna be deleted. So
Oh, great.
sometimes, like as we see it now, we don't really see the percentage because we have removed the measure and it says like the measure is missing. So you have to just go to the tooltip again, and here I have to insert the percentage of the selected measure. The formatting does looks little different, so I just have to, sometimes this does happen. So one way is to just copy the previous line and paste it over it, and then we insert our measure. So the percentage of selected measure. So did I do that one? I'm just gonna remove this, click OK. Yes, here we go. Okay, Steve.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Oh, and so can you change the label of sample integrity to sample degradation on the right? I just realized that the way we have it set up, that it's really, what we're measuring is sample degradation, not sample integrity.
Integration. Is it right?
No, sample degradation.
DE.
Yeah, GRATI, yeah, degradation. Yeah,
Is it
that's right.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's
So,
great.
that's great. So
Now,
you
can you move
can,
the,
yes.
yeah, the threshold is still, the label is still over the values on both the left and the right. Do you have any suggested fixes for that?
Mm, we don't have any fix for that, so
Okay.
it's gonna be like that. Mm, let me just try if we have any alternative. I can reduce the transparency of it if you feel that way. I can, that's a possible solution, but still, I would check the shading to be 0, so we don't have a background shading, and I just minimize the transparency of the letters, so it's not gonna really disturb our chart. Is it fine?
Um, sure.
Or maybe I'll just make it a little more darker so it's kind of readable, but still it's not really disturbing our chart. We cannot, uh, like maybe we can export on the next versions of Tableau, but right now we do not have the functionality to say the Tableau do not disturb my charts. Like it's just gonna say them,
Oh,
show
okay.
them. Or that be other solution would be like as I've been creating production reports for the end users. Like I would prefer not labeling here and write in text, like just
I
drag the,
agree. I agree.
yeah,
Probably better.
just would be say like threshold, and I'm just gonna color it red, or even I could have it by the just like a line to show, so you could just give a legend here.
And then do the same for average, maybe just make it orange, and then we can remove all the labels. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. So there's just the hyphen to make it looks like a line, or we can. Uh, there's one more thing which you like. I like to add is on the text. You can make use of the character, special characters. For example, if you just go to character map, I'm not sure if it's gonna open on the system. Yeah, that's great. So you can copy any of the symbols here on the bottom, like here. So I like to go with this. Select copy, just replace it here. So it's gonna be a here. It's fine if we go with the dotted lines. So we can make use of the symbols. Even this can be showed on the calculator field. Like I can maybe show you on the next classes to show the KPI using these arrows to compare any particular values, or to show on the tooltip. For example, instead of showing just the values, we can just say if are they above the threshold or below the threshold just with a small arrow. We can try that on the next classes if you like.
Oh, great.
So this I'm just gonna make it orange.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then what would be the best way? Because now view one, we updated and we changed the tooltip, but view two, we didn't. So
Mm-hmm.
what would be the best way for view one to mimic view two? Like, do we replace the source sheet, or how do you do it best?
I would suggest just like few changes has been done. For example, the color and the if for example let me just remove the labels. So I'll just make none. If you're making a huge change, like I would prefer you to delete the view 2 and recreate it, or if you feel it's just going to be a very minor, it's going to just take up my few seconds of time, I would just ask you, for example, on the tooltip, we are pretty sure that we have used the same fields on both the sheets. So I'm just going to copy paste this particular tooltip and go to our scatter to. So I'm just going to replace it here so that it will show us everything. And we are just missing the phlebotomist's full name here, so I'm just going to drag it up to the tooltip. Just make sure. I'll just replace it again from the copy paste. So here we go. The tooltip is very similar to the one which we got on the scatter one. So you have to
And
just
then the only change would be
unpin
the, I guess, the labels. Yeah.
your label should be able
Okay.
to. So if you think you have done a very major changes and you feel they are not in sync, you can always delete it and recreate it. But as we have just few seconds of, I mean, there are very minor changes, so I'm just gonna do it separately. So now they do look very similar.
And then the percentages, I guess, we still need to drop as a
Hmm.
as a label.
Yes.
And all of that you do in the sheet directly, right?
Yes, I do on the sheet.
Okay.
So all the changes which you do, dashboard is nothing but just a placeholder for the worksheets to be visible.
Yeah.
So whatever the changes which you make will always be done on the worksheets.
Okay. Oh, um, just a couple seconds. I have to plug in my laptop. The
The-
battery is
Yeah,
dying. Just
yeah,
a
yeah.
second.
Sure, sure.
Okay, great. I'm back.
Yeah, great. So I'll just share you some formatting tips which could be useful for you too. So few tips would be to change the color of the title of the dashboard and maybe draw some borders and change the colors of the if you would like to change the color of the background of each of the filter on the parameters which we have. So for my case, like I have some templates or standards to be followed. So I'm just gonna help you with that. Shall we look at that, Steve?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, my question was like, can we try the
Yes.
formatting things?
Can you
So
hear
it,
me?
yes, I can hear you. So regarding the formatting, so
Which formatting?
formatting of the look of the dashboard, the colors, background colors, or the text, the background colors of this particular filters and, and the parameters. So I just wanted to be look little more attractive or little more appealing, visually appealing.
Oh, great.
So I'd like to show you a few things. So right clicking it, format title. So for changing any of the color, borders, everything, mostly you'd be using the format. Like here you could see like format, or even here if you just see format. So that's going to be the easiest way. So I just want to be this to be, sorry, just want the just the title to be black, the font to be in white color, the alignment could be center, the font can be a little more darker, maybe make it 22. And if you'd like to see a border white or some other color, or say green if you like to, and this to be, say, the shading, body shading would be rain color. Just and I can just have a border if you like to. So this way you can just have some formatting changes. So you can just have anything, or if you like to see a border for this sheet, you can just always right click format, or you can always use the drop down here, format workbook. So I'll just format borders and then everything. So I couldn't really, I'm just missing of this two lines, but you could see some borders around the sheet, and here it's just here, but I'm quite not sure why I'm just missing of the on the lines. I can check that and update you on the next class maybe. So you could just add some borders, colorings, we even change the background colors of this, so you can just play around with using the format options here. So here you can just change font, background color, borders, the lines which you see. I think I got it. Yes, here we go. So this way you can just make the chart a little more appealing and more better. Okay, Steve.
That is great. Thank you. Yeah, that's excellent.
So it's your standard. You can just stick to some standard, or you can just have a template, so which you can make sure they look same for all of them. Would you do you have any particular idea, or can we look at the different type of charts in the show me?
Sorry, please go ahead. I didn't catch the last part.
Mhm. No, my question was, would you like to try anything in particular, or I would like to show you the charts on the show me? Like I guess I have shown you most
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
please. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So maybe I would like to go ahead with the new dashboard, so I can just show you the maps. I wanted to show you that. Let's go to Superstore dashboard. Just go ahead with the new sheet. So when you see, I'm not sure if I just explained to you before, but I'm just going to say it again. So when you hover over each of the charts here, you can see the requirements. So on the bottom, it says for Gantt view, you need one date, one or more dimension, 0 to 2 measures.
Oh,
So for each of them, it's going to say for a bullet chart, it needs two measures. So one going to be a bar and one going to be the reference line. So on the bubble chart,
so
mhm.
w- why is it not making any recommendation? Why is it saying nothing is possible, like it's all gray?
So it's because we haven't selected any dimensional measures on the right left view. So if I just click on sales, by clicking on sales it says like these three charts can be done just with one measure. So if you could see on the bottom, one or more measures. So with one measure you can just create these three. So that's what it says.
And how do you select multiple measures? You
So
just do
you,
control and click, or you have to
yes,
drag them?
yes, control and click would be enough. So sales
Okay.
and maybe the OT or base maybe. So it says this scatter plot needs two measures and bullet charts also need two measures. So it's gonna suggest us. So if you have a date here, so it says with one dimension and two measures, it says most of them are possible. Or if you go for a say, I guess this sample superstore, and just check if we have any location. Yes. So country, clicking country makes the two map views to be enabled. So clicking on this just shows up a map view. Get it, Steve?
Yep.
So we can just color it by the sales if you like want to. We just had just a single country. Can go ahead with maybe I like to try with the states. So here you could see each of the states are colored by their 2013 sales. So the dark here we just got the legend. So dark blue and light blue. So just like that. So even you could try for city, or you can just these charts are the ones you'd be using mostly, but we can have multiple charts. You can just combine a line chart and some arrow to make like a arrow. We like sharing my experience. I just tried a YOA chart which shows you the using the line chart and the shapes to make it look like arrow downwards or upward arrow. So we could make use of all the marks and combine them to make a new chart if you have anything in particular. So that's how Tableau works. Or
Oh, great.
you can just click on any of the measures, like I mean the possible charts which Tableau says. So I think this is our normal text tables which we have seen initially like this, and we if you use with the this particular view it's just going to be small squares. You could see I'll just make it fit with the small squares, which is just going to be like this, or I can just drag and drop things. Oops, sorry, make it the standard view. So I couldn't really show what how it exactly looks. It's going to be something like this. So I never really used this particular heat maps. I prefer this tree map here. So going with the highlight tables, so it's going to be something like this. So I can try switching things, or I can just go ahead with some better, or go replace the state with the category. So you can will just have something like this, something like this, and we have seen this. So clicking on this will give you a symbol, like I would say it's like kind of a city oriented map, and this is going to be a state or country or region oriented map. So each of the pie chart which you could see here is basically a city, and it's on their 2013 sales, and their category, the colorings are basically by their category. So it was just a suggestion by the Tableau to go in with the based on the dimensions and the measure which we had on the view. So this is what the simple maps looks like. These are all going to be our default bar charts. I guess it's not really needed. If you like to want, I can show you that, or we can go to the others. Would you like to see each of them?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, sure. So this is going to be our usual bar charts. Just remove battery this too. So I can just right click and sort it, or you can make use of this. So it looks, and here you got something called T. If you just click it, you'll just get the labels by default. Like you can always drag drop the value to the label, or you can just make use of this particular shortcut, the icon. So if you just click it again, it just goes off. Clicking will make it. So this will be handy for you. I'm trying the stack bugs, so I guess this is not the best example. I can go with the subcategory, and then we can cover the subcategory. So each of the colored bars are nothing but different subcategory. Or I can just go ahead with this. So it says one measure or one dimension or meter. Let me try here like this. So sometimes, like, even though this may or may not suggest, we'll just, if you understand how we want our charge to be, we can just make it here and we can just see it. So that's how things go. There is the heat maps which we saw already, and this is just a circle map. Like instead of having just a bar chart or on a scatter plot, it's like this. Here it's like something like this. And line chart, I would like to go with some dates. Or you can, instead of researching on the list, we can always make use of the find field or the control F to say what are the date fields available here. So it's gonna check over all our list. And I just want to try it on the order date. Add it up the line chart. And just remove the subcategory. I guess it's by year. It's always when you drag a date dimension to the view, it's always going to take it as a year. So right clicking it will give you a shorter list where you can select whether you want to see it by date or just the number of the day. Instead of seeing as a May 8 2015, you can just see 8. So all the 8 from all the months and years will be combined into this particular view. So I just want to view it by the day May 8 2015 format. So you could see something like this. You get it, Steve? Like why it was changing
Yeah.
from year to date?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Or if you want to see by month, yeah, that looks neat. And this particular high indicator which says that there are 108 months or maybe categories, it should be, if I'm right, it should be a category which does not have values for the 2013 sales. So I'm just gonna right click and hide indicator so it will not be seen, or I can just double click on it so that I just get some pop-up like this. I can say filter data, exclude them, so it's gonna just exclude in the filter, so don't show me the null values like the ones, the categories with the 2013, there's no 2013
How
sales.
did you do that?
So I'm just gonna double click on the this indicator here, and
Okay.
on the pop-up just click filter data.
Okay.
So clicking here will make the values to be 0. So it says for the year,
Okay.
looks like we got the date from ranging from different, and instead of showing it null, it's just gonna say 0. Like we would not really like that way, so I would suggest we'll go with the filter data or just hide the indicator. That would be more than sufficient, which I would suggest, because the null values are not really on our chart of this set, just this indicator, so just hide the indicator. We could see like the other charts like this, or I guess this is what we have. Clicking this will just make it, make the our date to be from continuous to discrete, so it's going to be like side by side chart. And this dual line chart is nothing but by two measures, so I like to go ahead with the one date and just go ship date, profit, discount. Let's see if I missed anything. Still it's not seen here. Let me check. It's okay. I'll just clear the view. Yes, clear the view just made a way. So clicking on it. So the red line is the profit and blue line, sorry, the red line is our discount and blue line is our profit. So it's just going to be on different scales. If you have something on the same scale, for example, I would like to replace the discount with sales, so I just gonna drag the sales and put it over the discount, so it's going to be replaced automatically. And by clicking here on the synchronate axis, which you could see here, so it's gonna say our sales is this and these are our profit for each of the year. Or I could just make it month to be more attractive. So this is our dual line chart. So moving on to the area chart, so it would be something like this. You could just color it by different, maybe by modes if you like want to. So you could see the legend here. The standard data is more, and then the second day, same day, and so on. On the next is the side by side area chart. This is our the dual line chart. So you can have a measure to show the bar and the line to show other measure. So you can have two measures on a view. And this is our scatter plot. So I can just remove and put it into detail. So this is how a scatter plot looks. So we can have any measures, and on detail, if you have a just two measures, there should be just sums up everything. So you have to have something on the detail level, or say I can have by customer name to the detail. You could see every circle represents a circle. To make it little more attractive or maybe visually appealing, I can just make it by default the Tableau takes it to shows different shapes. So here you could see it matches with the shape and the automatic one. I just wanted by circles and give them a border, and I can just reduce the transparency so it just looks a little more good. And I can just always change my colors to, you just want to see on black or whites, or maybe I'll go ahead with the gray ones for now. Or if I wanted to color by the segments, I just got drag the segment to the colors, so it's just going to be colored by the segments. Or if you feel it's really not clear, you can always use this here, so it's going to be divided here like this. So you can have our view is divided by each of the segments, so it's kind of like this. You can just go make it an entire view, or we can just try some combination to see which fits well. So I prefer this is good. So this is our scatter plot and a histogram. So histogram, I'm just gonna maybe sales. I'd like to see the sales in histogram. So it says we have more sales on this particular bin from 0 to 2000. Maybe I can just change the edit axis. On the tick marks, I'm just want to say on the fixed, I want every 1000 units to be shown. So here you could see it's very dark though, I mean very light, so you're not able to see it properly. I could text to be black in color. Yes, so you could clearly say from 0 to 500 there were about 8000 sales. So you could just see the histogram view. Okay, Steve?
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So let me know if you're not clear on anything. You can always point me so I can just repeat it. So trying the next chart, which is the box plot. So the box plot will help us to understand how the variations of our, I guess you should be knowing the box plot, but I can just say you again. It's just gonna help us to understand our measure. So I'll just put our sales here and let the customers be on the detail. So it just gives us an idea how each of our customers are based upon this particular gray area is called IQR. We call it as interquartile range. Like it's where most, it's expected to be where most of our customers are, and these ones who are above this IQR are called outliers. So these are our outliers who have performed more than expected. I can just change the view and try to analyze it, which should be better. You can just play around with the color transparency to make it a little more appealing if you like want to. And regarding this box plot, if you just right click on the box plot and click edit, you just have an option to hide the marks who are on this particular box. So if you just click here, so sorry, it also includes the line, so you could just see only the outliers who are away from our expected range. So these are the ones who have got our outstanding customers, we could say. So that's a one option which we have on our box plot. I can show you the Gantt and the, I think you've seen the bullet chart and the bubble chart. I'll just show you the Gantt chart and we can maybe open up for questions. We just have some 10 minutes, I guess.
Oh yeah, would it be possible today to finish at 5 minutes before 1, so maybe 5 minutes early? Because I have to get ready for my next meeting at 1 o'clock. So before, a couple minutes before 11:30 your time.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll just close up with the Gantt chart. If you have any other questions, I can just always go ahead with that.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it was that late where you are.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So let's see, one Gantt, one or more measures. Why is it not suggesting it? Let me just try. Oops, sorry, I was wrong. Okay. I couldn't really get you the best example for the Gantt chart, but it's gonna be something like look like this. But this is not the
Yeah,
right Gantt chart which we are expecting. But I can show you on the next class if you'd like to. So, okay, any other questions,
sure.
Steve? Because as you have asked, we can close up end up the sessions for today.
Oh, would it be possible to send me a copy of the file we worked on together today? And when I open it, is there anything I need to do? Do I need to link it to the Excel file again, or is there any preparation necessary for my end to be able to open?
No, like you can just open it up. If you want to change the file or the Excel underlying file, then you should be linking it up unless until you can always, if you're gonna use the current data itself, you can always just open up the file. Nothing much really needed.
If I just open it up, then it will not try to update the links or the live link or anything like that?
No, 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 because I'm just going to share you as a packaged workbook. So the file will be attached to it and it will be on its temporary file. So it shouldn't be a
Oh, okay,
problem.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. Sure, Steve.
Oh, let's see. For the next session.
Mm-hmm.
Um, would um, yeah, how about tomorrow, 11 to 1? Would that work for you?
Yeah, the same time, right? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Yep, I'm okay with it.
Okay, great. And then Friday, how about Friday? Would that work for you as well?
Yeah, I'm fine with this time for the throughout the week, even weekends. So
Okay,
I'm
great.
okay with this. Yeah. Okay, see you. You can let's meet up tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Well, you have a very good night, and then I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good meeting. Have a good day. Enjoy the day.
Okay, you
Yeah,
too. Bye-bye.
see ya. Bye bye.